Hi everyone, it's Michael Mencelli with Porsche Centre Calgary, here with another piece of fresh used car inventory. Today we're talking about a 2009 Porsche 911 Turbo Cabriolet. So this is 997 generation of 911. Personally, probably one of my favorite generations of 911. I first started with Porsche in the UK just as they were phasing out 996 and 997 was introduced. So this was kind of my first real taste of Porsche. And it stuck with me for such a long time. And as I said, this is probably one of my favorite generations of 911. I really like the size of the car. I like the proportions of it. Love the fact that obviously they went back to a more traditional round headlight. To me, the look of the car is very, very 911. It kind of embodies everything. I also love the turbo wheels that they came out with on this car. The 5-spoke, but with the split in the spoke as well. I just think they absolutely nailed it with this car. Still one of my favorite cars to drive. I love that it's a little bit more analog. Obviously, it was quite a bit updated in terms of the traction control and some of the other technology on the car, but to me, it still felt very analog. So definitely a firm favorite of mine within the 911 range. This particular car has done 67,000 kilometers or just over. It's a 3.6 litre twin turbo, developing about 480 brake horsepower. So we're still in that generation of 911 where the Metzger engine was being used, and the Metzger engine is kind of lauded over as being incredibly reliable, and also at 480 brake horsepower, the engine can take an awful lot more power, so very, very reliable as well. This car actually features the Tiptronic transmission. So Tiptronic was the precursor to the PDK, or the double clutch transmission. Tiptronic is still found in our Cayenne cars at the moment, so our bigger SUV. And a couple of sort of maybe interesting facts on Tiptronic, because a lot of people shy away from the transmission. 0 to 60 time, Tiptronic manual in this generation of car was exactly the same. And the Tiptronic was maybe not as old school as maybe people thought. The gearbox itself featured 5 different shift programs. So depending on what you were doing with the car, so throttle position, steering input, and the longitudinal and latitudinal forces on the car would determine how the gearbox is going to respond to your inputs. There's a couple of other benefits with this as well. It wouldn't upshift in a corner. So if you're hard on the power going through a turn, it's not going to upshift at the wrong time and upset the balance of the car. It won't over rev. So even in manual mode, it will reach its rev limiter and will automatically change gear for you. So it's actually a much better transmission than maybe a lot of people gave it credit for. You've still got the ability to drive it obviously in drive, so as an automatic, but you can also put the car into manual, and unlike the PDK transmission where you would have paddles, this car has got buttons on the steering wheel for up and down. It's a different driving style, I admit, to a PDK or a manual, but once you get used to it, it's quite intuitive, and actually I quite enjoy driving the Tiptronic transmission. And as I said, I think it's better than people give it credit for, especially when you've got this much power. A couple of other nice features. This generation on the turbo, they had the variable vane technology or variable turbine technology on the turbochargers. So this allowed the turbocharger to adjust and spin up at different rates. So essentially trying to negate any turbo lag on the car. So I mean, if you drive this car, the acceleration on it is absolutely relentless. It's very punchy, but it's a lovely driving experience because you really do feel the full 480 brake horsepower when you're driving the car. This car also, another thing I really like, GT Silver. GT Silver looks good on any Porsche. It's probably one of our longest running paint codes. So that speaks, volumes about how popular it's been and how good it looks on our car. And I love the fact that it's paired with this Cocoa special leather interior. It's a really deep sort of chocolatey brown, full Cocoa leather interior. So full leather seats, the seat backs are leather, the door tops, the top of the dash. Turbos came very, very well optioned, so there wasn't an awful lot you could do to them. So this car has the updated PCM as a second generation 911. You're going to get the Bose sound system as standard. You're going to get climate control as standard. You're going to get electric seats with memory as standard. So it's a very, very nicely optioned car. We've just done a major service on the car. It has new brakes, new tires. Brakes I think are at 6 mil on the front, 5 mil at the back. So the car is pretty much good to go. There's no accidents on the car. It was originally from California, came into Calgary in 2012 and has been here ever since. It's a really nice example of a 997 turbo. And as I said, great color combination, one of my favorite generations of 911s. Please come down, take a look, or if you have any questions, please get in contact with us. We're happy to talk more about the cars.